Hey everybody, and welcome to a series I heavily contemplated not doing. And you may be asking, well Mathis, why did you heavily contemplate not doing SimCity? Well, because originally I wanted to do a one video, a one-off, kind of an impressions, or almost like my indie snapshot of my impressions series. But the problem is I did two of those. I made two of them for SimCity, and I hated both of them. I deleted them. The reason I hated them is because I quickly came to the realization that I could not cram everything I wanted to say into a 1.5 hour video, and I tried, I really did, and it came off very rambly and very rushed, and I didn't like that, especially with a game like SimCity where there's so much depth to the game. So I decided to do a mini-series, 5 to 10 episodes at most, and talk about how the game works, what I like, what I don't like, and kind of just the general feel of the game. So, without further ado, the best way to do this is just to hit play and go with it. So let's hit play. When you hit play, you're going to be brought up with 3 different options. And there's going to be this resume option game, which we're going to actually abandon this region here. You have a join game, we can join a multiplayer game. Again, this game is very heavily in the multiplayer. And create game. We're actually going to create a game. I'm going to create a server where everybody can join. I'm on North America East 4, the server. And what we can do is choose a region. Now, originally in SimCity, you choose a region and you get to choose how big you want your city to be, but that's not how it works in this one. Here, as you can see, you choose a region. It tells you how many cities it can fit and how many great works it can fit. For instance, Cape Trinity can fit 3 cities and 1 great work. All the way at the right, the biggest one can fit 16 cities and 4 great works. We're actually going to pick this one, so as many people as have the game on my channel can come join. It's going to be called Mathis's YouTube server, and you can easily see this so you can come join me. And then next, you're going to see where all the cities can fit. The circles are for great works, the squares are for cities. Now, the important thing to note when you're selecting a city is every time you click, it's going to bring up a resources tab. This means what this particular region has plenty of. So, in this particular region, there's a lot of oil, a good amount of water, some wind, and some coal. But in this region over here, there's no oil, but there's some water, not a good amount of wind, but a lot of coal and a lot of ore. And what this game allows you to do is trade with other players. You can just, if you have plenty of oil and you have more than you can handle, you can sell it off to somebody, and you can sell it off to this region over here. But more on that when we get to it. We hopefully will get to that at some point in the miniseries. So what I'm going to do is pick, I'm going to pick Frontier Fields. There's a lot of oil, there's some coal. It could be useful for us, actually. Yeah, I think I picked Frontier. If we could pick over here. So, yeah, we'll pick this one. So we're going to claim it as ours, and we're going to start playing right away. And you're going to see right when we load up one of the big things I have a big complaint with this game. And that is going to be the size of the city. Now, as I said earlier, in the earlier SimCities, you could pick the size of the city. You could determine how large you want it to be, etc., etc. In this game, as you can see, there is a dotted white line. What does that dotted white line mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. That dotted white line is how big your city can be. And you may be saying, but Mathis, it's not very big. And you would be very correct. I really don't like the fact that I feel incredibly cramped with how big these cities can be. They could be so much bigger. I definitely agree with all those people who've said that the city size is not big enough. Let's go over some basic tabs and let's just get playing, shall we? The left-hand side, your Great Works tab, which we have none of right now. Our Regions tab, which you click this and you can check out the entirety of the region, everybody's city, and here you can actually see who you're trading with what, but we don't have to worry about that yet. Our Cities tab, and our City Specialization tab, which is going to be able to say, hey, if there's a lot of oil and I want to build an oil factory once it's approved, we can see where the oil is, we can plop down an oil drill. Simple as that. Over here we're going to have how happy our people are, how much money we have, and how much we're making and spending. And over here, how many people are living and how many people are visiting, details on what they work, where they're going, where they're spending most of their money, etc. So the first thing you need to do in order to get people to move in is build roads, right? Seems simple. One thing the game does a terrible job of explaining to you is that roads mean much more than getting people into the city. And by the way, the tutorial's garbage, and I wish it was either better or just didn't exist. So, there are 2 types of roads, streets and avenues. And there are different types of those streets and avenues. So streets you got low density, high density, medium density, high density, and avenues you have medium density, high density, and high density streetcar avenue, which is bigger, can support much more number of, it's a 6 lanes, but this is a wide traffic lights. It's just, you can, around the center, it's basically good for heavy like city traffic. So, what does this mean? So, if I decide to do a low-density street, streets you're going to want to use for residential areas for the most part. But if I decide to use a low-density street, what does that mean? Why does that matter? Well, buildings can't get past a certain size unless you start upgrading the roads to high density, something the game does not describe or explain to you in any way that's at all useful. So early on, it's okay to do low density stuff, but later you're going to want to upgrade. With this upgrade button right here, you can upgrade roads to higher, but you cannot upgrade any higher than high density street. You cannot turn streets into avenues and vice versa. So that's also something very important when planning your city. Do you want your commercial areas? Where do you want the commercial areas, etc., etc.? So if I was to look at the city the way it's laid out right now, I think I'm going to do something very basic. I think I'm going to keep residents on the on the left, commercial in the middle, industrial on the right. So let's start building. Let's get people moved into this town, shall we? One of the things this game likes to do, and I kind of like it and I kind of don't, is the snap grid here. And what it helps you kind of plan out your streets, your roads. So we'll follow it for a little bit. Let's see what it can do for us here. We can do a little bit of that and a little bit of that. And we'll make 2 or so blocks, like so. Angle too sharp. See, sometimes it doesn't work always the best, and that's another big gripe of mine. So we have that. Let's lay down some residential now. We get some people moved in. And there we go. Perfect. And happy doodle daddle. Bam, done. One of the things I really like is the sound design in this game. I think it's done a great job with sound design. Next, we want to build some power, and unfortunately, I don't want to keep the power too close to our people. I don't know why I said unfortunately. It's not that unfortunate. So we're going to build an avenue up this way, and maybe even another one here. And we'll get some power laid down. And we're going to do windmill generator, of course. And we'll do it right in the middle of these roads here, so people can come and work and come have a job and power up the street. We're also going to want to get some water, and you can see there's a good chunk of water in this area, so we're going to put it right over here on top of all that water, and we should get water in there no problem. Crank it up to cheetah speed. Now, this one thing this game does very often is show these little chat bubbles. You can click on this, and it'll basically have these townsfolk saying, "Hey, Mayor, don't you want a town hall?" "Yeah, of course I would do. I want a town hall." I just say yes, and then get them some town halls. Let's make sure. How's the power looking? No power yet, but they should be going to work now. People should be having a job shortly, and in doing so, we'll have power soon. I'm also going to lay down some more basic avenues, and we're going to turn this into an industrial zone. Just so people have more jobs as well. We definitely want people to have jobs. Bam. And there we go. Lots and lots of factories. Great for people. I'd like to think so. So what do factories do for people? We could even do something like that and have potentially a bit more factories. Let's do it like that. So yeah, what do factories do for people? Provide some cheap labor, essentially. Like, you don't need a good education to work at a factory. On the other hand, what else it does is provide the highest amount of taxes to you for any place that they can work. Now that we should have the ability to build a town hall now as well. Where do we want the town hall? Do we want it in the middle? I think we want it in the middle. I think we want it in the middle of our city. Do we want it in the middle of our city? Or do we want it here with in the middle of our people? Let's do... Do I want it? Yeah, well, let's start building out like this. And we'll have the town hall right in the middle over here, so people can come visit whenever they'd like. Bam! Town hall for everybody. They can come work here now. And then surrounding it, we'll start building our commercial zones. Perfect. Done. We might even be able to actually make that a little bit better sparsed out here. We could even do something like so. We don't have enough money. So for now, we can build right through that later. So for now, we'll leave it like so. Alright, so we have now a town hall, which is going to allow us to build certain other things and specialize our city once we have the ability to. So once we have about 7 or so factories, we can actually build, we can actually start specializing our town into oil, etc., etc. We can actually do a little bit of that action. We'll just get some more factories up and running for everybody to come work at. Yep, there we go. We can now build an oil well if we so wish, and we can rename our town because we built a town hall, so I will be Hydropolis. There we go. And so now we can specialize our town because we have enough factories. We can specialize into become an oil mill. We could be like, oh, where's the most oil? Oh my God, there's a ton of oil right here. We could easily plop one down here at some point and build an oil well. If we wanted to become a coal, we could take a look and see, oh, there's some coal up here. Not the biggest. If we want to become a gambling town, we could start getting ready to place this down. And technology and all these specializations like trading and all this stuff is going to be available to you now that you have a town hall, which is neat. We are having a worker shortage, so we're going to want to start building out some more roads and get some more Sims moving in. Let's see how many more Sims we can get moved in here. We're also going to want to probably build some better roads to this area because we already have some high congestion happening. And with more people moving in, that is definitely going to happen more and more often. But we definitely want some more people moving into our city. There we go. And lots of people are they're happy with all more kinds of people moving in, which is neat. So one of the things we can do, like I said, is upgrade our roads. So if we wanted to upgrade some streets here to help with congestion, we can hit upgrade road button and just click on a chunk of road. Let's say a medium density street. Sure, we'll help that out and hopefully help congestion out a little bit in this area right here. So people are going to start moving in. We have lots of workers. We have our town hall and a nice commercial zone kind of moving in. Look at this. All kinds of fast food place. Simoleons are the lifeblood of a well-tuned city. One of the things I like to do, I don't know if I did it yet, is crank up taxes to 11% early on just to get us a good chunk of inflow. And every hour we're getting paid $16.77. If we wanted to, we could take out a loan by clicking here and picking out a bond. We, of course, will end up paying more than we end up taking, but it'd be good for early stuff. Now, one of the things I like to do at this point is save up money for a lot of the basic expenses, like getting up a fireplace or getting up a police station or anything else that might be important. Let's also upgrade. There's a lot of traffic already. What we could do is build some more avenues straight to here, but we don't have enough money to do that yet. How much is it going to run us? We almost have enough. Okay, now we have enough. That should help greatly with traffic. There we go. So they're going to have 2 ways into the city, and just our little kind of country town here is starting to come into fruition, which I'm very happy with. So there we go with that. Let's take a look at our factories. How's our factories doing? Everybody's working hard. Not enough blue-collar workers. We need to get an education up. Basically, factories cannot progress unless they get to a certain tech level. So if you want them to get higher, you need to build more schools, starting with elementary and then high school and college. One of the other things that I like about this game that they do quite nicely is if we don't have enough power, but we don't really need anything, we don't need anything like a coal mine or an oil mine, you can click on this, and you can upgrade it. You can do this with a lot of different buildings, and we'll see that a lot. By clicking, we need to add turbines, and that'll allow us to build more or have more power, which is kind of awesome, which I'm really happy about. So far so good. I'm really happy with how this game plays out so far. I really am. Again, the always online DRM stuff is kind of unnecessary in my opinion, but it does not detract from the fun that this game is. We need to get some sewage up at some point. This is going to lower land value, so we definitely want to make this far away from people. So let's build up to about here. There we go, and let's build a sewage pipe here, and that's going to get rid of people's poopy. Everybody really doesn't like any poopy near themselves. We got to wait for one more payment. Once we get one more payment, in about 5 minutes, we can place one down, which we're going to do. And we're making $2,500 an hour, which is not too shabby for such a small town like so. And there we go. No more sewage problems for everybody. And also, let's take a look. How much do we need to get a fireplace down, which is my biggest concern? $20,000. So we kind of need to sit around and wait and make some money. That's something we need to kind of be patient about. Let's take a look at some commercial zones. Can we place here? Here, we can definitely place some more. Can't do any. There we go. So we can now have some more commercial zones. I want to try to get as many commercial zones as we can. More jobs. Yes, I'm working on it right now, Mr. Mayor. Calm your ass. And I kind of want to do something like this, which would probably allow us some more, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave it like so for now. I'll draw out in a bit. What else we want to do is potentially place down some parks. People are already demanding more residential, but I'm not going to do residential yet. I'm going to wait for some more money. I'm going to wait for people to kind of pour in the cash that I desperately need. We can zone in some more industrial on the other hand, though. So that's always good. More factories equals more jobs. And that's something we desperately need. We don't need any more commercial. The commercial demand is really low. We just need residential and factory. Apparently, is all really people want. But we're not gonna worry about it too much. We're making some good money, and I want to make sure we have enough to get a fireplace down and a paramedic area down, which is going to be very important. Paramedic is going to be hugely important when it comes to people because they get sick and hurt quite often. Getting the ambulance out there is going to be nice, and the sounds of the city will happen more often. And you can always, one of the cool things about the Glassbox engine, which I can now talk about since we're kind of on a low point with the city building here, is you can follow everybody around. So, like, individual Sims, if we wanted to find out what this particular Sim's up to, all we have to do is click on them. There we go. Gavin Weber. He came from Martinez residence, wherever that is, and we can follow him around if we ever so wanted to on his day-to-day life, whatever he does, etc. Same thing with the children, Wyatt Morrison. And you can, I love the ability to zoom in and just kind of explore your town. It's really awesome. This is part of the Glassbox engine. You have free camera movement, and it's just really, really, really cool. Just to see everything. As things grow, it becomes more and more lifelike, and seeing your city grow is one of the most satisfying things in the world. And the game does an excellent job at making you feel very omnipotent and very in control of everything. So I'm going to turn this camera around, and just, again, we're waiting for money so we can get some basic stuff set up. But I think that's where we're going to end the first episode. We'll get more into detail as time goes on. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.